Hi, I'm Stephanie Mosca. We're here in Miami, Florida at ITEXPO Miami 2013. And I'm joined today by Jon Sastre, President of Conquest Technology Services. Jon, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
So a lot of what's been, one of the trends coming out of ITEXPO this week is partnerships. And I understand that Conquest has a pretty big partnership with AudioCodes that's helped you guys to really help to implement your Microsoft Lync solutions.
Absolutely. It's an important partnership. It helps us go into the clients with the right ecosystem of solutions so that we can give them an end-to-end result.
So maybe we can talk a little bit more about some real examples that you can help to kind of support what you guys were able to accomplish with AudioCodes.
So absolutely. We've had a few years now, 5 years basically, where we've been focused around Lync. It was called OCS before that, Office Communication Server. And when we transitioned to Lync, we needed to find all the partners in that ecosystem to be able to deliver to clients the whole solution. For us, we got started with really large accounts right up front. That's where Microsoft and the product was really focused. One of the clients that we had a lot of success with early on was a business that's basically in the industry of getting pharmaceuticals through the FDA, the whole FDA approval process, and that can be very lengthy and very complicated. So it was a very large company, 22,000 seats, and their whole objective was how do they roll this out and scale it worldwide. And they were looking at a lot of other solutions. There's a lot of products out there that provide dial tone and do some of the basic things, but they wanted to know why Lync. And we were able to bring in not just a lot of cost savings by bringing AudioCodes and SIP trunking in, but we were also able to bring them in to do federation. And as it turned out, most of the pharmaceuticals, the large pharmaceuticals that they were trying to provide services to, were also using either Lync or OCS, and we were able to set up something called federation so that all their employees could actually have instant messaging and a real good contact platform back and forth. So that client ended up rolling out Lync for 22,000 seats and really using enterprise voice across the board. And again, with AudioCodes, they were able to deal with branch environments. They were able to get an incredible cost reduction from their traditional telephony and telco infrastructure.
Sure. Any other examples that you can provide us with?
So yeah, we've been able to get across a couple industries and have a lot of really interesting stories. In the university, in post-secondary, we've had some interesting wins around institutions that have had a very long, established PBX tradition, sometimes a very old investment in something that had gone in way, way before. And one of those was a Nortel rip and replace, where we had to go in and prove to a university, tens of thousands of seats, that it made sense for them to look at Lync as a solution. And in particular, universities are moving towards online learning. That's a really big deal for their business models and for being able to reach a lot more students. And Lync in particular has an incredible amount of integration because of its software base with a lot of the online learning tools. So we were able to go in, show them how their business end could run through Lync, and then also help them find better ways to reach and communicate with their students through that online learning model, all while having the benefits and mobility and cost savings of Lync. That was another great opportunity where we were able to go in, look at a huge traditional telco deployment, a lot of copper, and use AudioCodes, SIP trunking partners, and the whole ecosystem to come in and basically show them an ROI that Lync would be paid for ultimately just by the cost savings of using these new forms of receiving their telephony.
Sure.
So AudioCodes is a big partner, and the rest of the ecosystem really helps it come together. The endpoints, the softwares, packages for the contact centers, and we were able to go in there and provide them an entire end-to-end solution.
So you mentioned pharma, you mentioned education, any other verticals or maybe developments that are currently in the works?
So yeah, and it's like, it's contagious. It's interesting how Lync has kind of gone viral. We had another client that was a 30,000 seat consumer products company, for sure makes a product that you have in your home because they make so many different products. And when we got to them, they were already on board and kind of moving in their own direction with Lync. And we were able to use we have Microsoft MVPs, which are very highly skilled Lync guys that were able to go in and bulletproof their deployment plan and their model. And they basically did it one stage at a time kind of around the world. And that was a great deployment, and it was a great win, and we got that rolled out. They did AudioCodes across the board worldwide, and ultimately, we were happy about the win, but another client came along that was in the paper goods business that was actually making the product packaging for that consumer goods product, their whole company for all their products, and they weren't sure whether it was going to be Lync or not. They weren't sure about if they just wanted to replace dial tone or what more they could get out of a solution like this. And once, they asked us, well, what references and testimonials do you have that have already done this that are in a business like ours? We mentioned that consumer goods company with their permission. And immediately they said, well, they're one of our clients. We sell them a ton of paper good products. And so what we said was, hey, let's facilitate a call between you, your CIO, and their CIO, and have that C-level discussion around what Lync strategically did for their business. And then again, the whole idea of federation came back up, and the ability for them to have interdepartmental and just a very lateral communication at the right levels, very openly and freely, made it an incredibly deciding factor that ended up getting their 20,000 seats to go towards Lync. So I think a lot of this is companies are looking to see who's done it, how's it turned out, is it a full solution for rip and replace of dial tone, and the rest of the unified communications workloads. And when you look at it and you see not only is it that, but you have giant companies that are using it, that have been using it, and now with Lync 2013, with all the new technologies that AudioCodes and all the other contact center solutions, the endpoint manufacturers, the SIP trunk providers on the back end have come up with. It's a really comprehensive ecosystem that can come in and really help you find ways to find value. And then, on top of all that, I think one of the biggest benefits most people have seen is that it's built on .NET, so you can make it do whatever you want. If you have a programming team, a development team, or if you have contractors that can code for you, you can bring in those specialty type of capabilities that'll really give you differentiation and competitive advantage that I think businesses are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I mean, obviously, unified communications it's undeniable. If you're not adopting it into your processes, I mean, you're falling behind. So,
For sure.
really appreciate you sharing your success stories today and being on the show. Thanks, Jon.
Thanks, Steph.